wonderful Matthew Purdy. We are outside of the BOK Center, just a couple of blocks out, where Trump supporters, BLM activists, Antifa are just kind of lingering around, all kind of talking to each other. It's a little bit of a tense situation. The media down here conducting some of the interviews here. It looks like we have some civilian militia possibly here as well, and we got just kind of a crowd of people. It's a very odd atmosphere. You know, it's right now it's peaceful. People are just talking. But earlier today, some of the things that we've been tracking and seeing on Twitter is just a few minutes ago, BLM activists were on this street blocking the National Guard bus that was holding National Guard servicemen on there. They were blocking the bus from getting through. Eventually, it looked like there was Tulsa fire trucks that came through the street to break up the crowds. Earlier during the rally, BLM activists were down here, as well as Trump supporters who were trying to get in or were just around this area where they've been for the past week or so. And it seems that the BLM activists were very antagonizing the Trump supporters, throwing stuff at them, you know, hurling insults, and amidst other things. It was a very tense situation, it looked like, per videos on Twitter during the rally. Right now it seems like it's broken up fairly well. I would say this is definitely a majority of Trump supporters that are out here, but definitely, I mean, there's BLM, there's definitely Antifa just sitting around, and again, it's just kind of a little bit of an odd atmosphere. Purdy and I are down here just to kind of keep track of everything that's going on, just keep an eye. So we're going to go around. Maybe we'll talk to a few people about maybe if they were down here during the rally and what they saw there, or their description of the atmosphere and the feeling that we have here after the Trump rally. Thank you so much for joining us. If you like this stream, make sure to like it, make sure to share it. You can follow us on all of our social media to get all of these different updates on what's going on here down in Tulsa this weekend. At We Are Breitbart for Instagram, Breitbart News for Twitter, as well as Breitbart News for Facebook. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we're going to walk around so you can see exactly what we're seeing.
You're good.
See, it almost comes to the best, right? My white ass in the floor. Where you from?
Hey, bud, I'll see you at the house.
Yeah, there was pepper spray.
Then they all ran off that way.
I'm not even dialed in.
It's a deterrent. There's been information that says that other people are, even if he was, people that kill himself, maybe to cause violence.
So there was rumors that a man had murdered a police officer. Do you know anything about that?
In Oakland. Yeah.
What's the story behind that?
Nobody should be scared of us unless you're fucking up.
Yeah.
If you're sitting there causing problems, you're instigating, trying to pick a fight, and causing violence, yeah, you're trying to scare them. Yeah, I don't care what side it is.
Yeah.
And I promise you right now, and this, I hate to have to say this, but if for some reason somebody started shooting at unarmed protesters, throwing Molotov cocktails, something like that, I'm gonna step up. That's what we do. That's who we are. Because it's not about a political affiliation or a group. It's about you're an American citizen, I'm an American citizen, I've got the means and the know-how to protect you, and I'm gonna do it because that's what I should do as a decent human being.
I also think that's Tulsa.
Dude, you know,
I'm
Tulsa,
from here,
I love this town. I love this town. I moved here about 12 years ago, and I'm originally from Southern California, which is, sorry to say it, kind of turned into a dumpster fire. Okay, and I love Tulsa because we can have something like this, and we don't have to worry about people losing their minds. Because we're sane human beings here, for the most part, anyway. You know, there's a couple of the fringe, but that's with any group, anywhere you go, anywhere you live. But out here, we can come together, have differences of opinion. Yes, it gets heated. We got megaphone to megaphone in some places, or people screaming at each other. But you know what? There's only been one incident all day, where I watched somebody throw hands with somebody else, and it lasted about that long.
Seconds.
And then afterwards, they walked side by side and were talking. And I was like, you know what? I'm okay with that.
I've had a lot of flack for, my little advertising, and I've had a lot of respect for, the Trump supporters. I've, given thumbs up for free speech, and yeah, it's the way you can talk to each other. It's just common decency all around.
Absolutely.
I think that's something
I've had people that are cussing each other, and then we come by and they start cussing us, and the only thing I do is I smile, I wave at them and be like, hey, be safe today. And I go on about my business.
Yeah. I've had a lot of be safe for, my
I don't want to see anything happen. Am I carrying this? Yeah, I am. And I pray to God, any God, every God, that I never have to use it, ever. But I am one of those people. I am a sheepdog. I will protect the flock. If it has to happen and somebody has to do it, I will toe that line because I love my nation that much that I will protect my country, my citizens at any cost. And I think that if other people would say, you know what, I'm going to stand up for my neighbor. I'm going to stand up for my neighborhood, my community, my city, my state, that we would all be in a much, much better place.
Well, I think it would take a lot of courage just for anyone to come down here, just in general. There was a lot of hype that it was going to be, a storm.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons. We actually had a lot of people, and I mean, everybody's got families. I've got some people that were going to come out, and their wives are like, I'd rather not have you go down there.
Go home the way you came.
Yeah. And so, I wanted to come down and make sure that everybody had the opportunity to make it home safe. I can't hear you.
See the video and the police officer wearing the toy?
I did. We're talking on a personal level? Personally, I think that it looks hella staged. And it was very, very wrong in every sense of the word. Everything from how that situation escalated into that.
Around my home, all the Quick-Trips, all the McDonald's are boarded up. Why is it? It's just simply for what's going on down here.
So I can't give you a 100% answer, but I'll give you what I think is the answer. When a hurricane comes to Florida, they do it for precaution. It may not meet their house, but that's what they do. They come back and hopefully, if it comes by there, it's strong enough. That's why they do it. So,
Prepare for a president. And this was a hurricane.
let me ask you this question. No, I do. Let me flip it around for a minute. If we did this 6 years ago, whenever, different president,
Do you remember they were never anything?
No. And let's just do this.
But it's not a time of righteousness.
No, I'm saying take the same here and flip it around, okay? And you guys, sorry.
Yeah, we really do have the COVID-19 is a real thing.
I got 5 sisters. I grew up. So if it was reversed and the black president came here and all this turmoil, you would probably have the same thing. Them boarding up stuff.
We had a black president in this.
I know that, but it wasn't it.
Police did an excellent job.
We are here not because of Obama. Not because of Bush. No, because of all of these presidents
It's far
for a long time.
Obama and Bush.
And it started really in the 60s. Like she said, in the 60s, black families, 80% two parents. Okay?
Can I get a hug?
You were better off even though you were being still oppressed at the time, okay? Today, it's like 22%. That's your number one problem. Pardon?
We both grew up
Okay,
with our
but still,
parents.
it's universal, 20-some percent.
I hear you, but I noticed all of my friends, they also grew up with their parents. So I hear your statistics, but I know what we live.
Your lens is different than.
Yeah, we have
No, you don't even know my lens. You want to know my lens?
It actually is.
We have a different lens.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you my lens. Everything in my person goes to the scripture and then to my experiences, books, where I grew up.
I grew up Pentecostal right here, Church of God in Christ. So the Bible, I understand the Bible.
You got some Holy Spirit in you. That's some good
what
stuff
God
right
can do. I understand the things. I know what the blood of Jesus. I know it all. I know to put my sins on the table and repent.
That's not what I'm saying.
understand it. But you use that
How do you
biblical
see
view.
okay.
So
When I talk to black people, without giving an answer, they'll tell me this. I say, how do you view the world? And I can, if my phone was working, I'd call Rose, and the first thing says, I see it through race. And if you're, and I ask people, I can't.
Some the world through classes. Personally,
but
I understand that I have to work harder to get what I want to be considered more than just a poor black person. I understand that. Because race that's just an obstacle that I know that I have to overcome within everything that I do.
So I'm going to give you my personal example. I grew up in Southern California, okay? No, not for a white person, not for a white male. It is not. Affirmative action. A black woman.
How old are you?
I'm 48. I know. Thank you. No, a black woman wanted to hire me, okay, for an adoption agency for the state of California. I went for the interview. She said, I can't hire you right now. I said, well, what's the problem? She said, do you want to do the interview? Yeah. I said, yes, because I want you to see my face. She told me this. Black woman told me this. Okay. She said, I can't hire you for 2 reasons. One, I have to hire a minority. You know what I told her? I'm half Latino. I'll change my application. She said, too late. They've already paid the one. Okay. And I said, okay, that's a bunch of nonsense. But I said, okay, I'll accept it. The second, but it was irrelevant because she had a hiring freeze. The state of California couldn't hire anybody. But the fact that she told me that, there's a pecking order in jobs in California, okay? And here's it is. Latino female is number 1. Now we're talking about clerical, okay, warehouse, okay. Then it's a black female, then it's the black male, Latino male. Obviously, you might need Spanish for different things. You may have a Latino male do a certain job, okay. And then it's any female, an Asian male, white male. Oh, sorry, any female, white male at the end of that. And I'm telling you, because he told me, and I've seen this. Now, if I go in anywhere and put Latino on there, nobody believes me. I'm as white as toast. I mean, but my dad, his parents, Spain and Mexico. So, but nobody believes it. You see my sister.
You're right. You're real.
Right. My sisters, if you see them right next to me, you Latino, long dark hair, brown eyes, olive skin. Except for one sister, she's got blonde hair, blue eyes. But if you know anything of Spain, a lot of people have blonde hair, blue eyes. But what I was going to say is, I believe this: that the Democratic Party, okay, has been abusing black people since, I'm going to use a slave term, from the beginning until now. They just changed tactics. Here's what they've done. They said, back in the day, we had you as slaves, we owned you, okay? Today, they just give you everything and say, we own you.
You're a slave mentally.
What is everything?
Okay, so if you're a minority, I'm going to give you WIC. I'm going to give you
I don't qualify for WIC.
Okay, no, I'm not saying
more
it's not
white
you.
women use WIC.
Yeah, I'm like Canada.
No,
More
you're right.
white women.
There are more white women on welfare. I agree. There is. That's a
I mean,
fact.
WIC too, because they get pregnant. So
I know
it's
that.
the same.
But why does the government?
You see, you said they give you everything, but these are the same things that they give.
Okay, what do they
white
have?
I just think it's the
What do they have?
What do you mean?
It's the pandering to the black race, you
So
know.
what is it that they give us that they don't give
So
other
what did they
races?
have prior to that?
What do you mean?
Well, did they have anything prior to that? So I'm gonna call her.
Talking about the once again, so do the white women have anything prior to that?
They have the same problem.
So then we can't say that the Democrats gave it to the black people because they gave it to everyone. And so you're looking at it as a Democrat Republican.
No.
I'm looking at right.
I'm
wrong.
looking at slave mentality.
Yes, this country
So-
is built on slave mentality. That's how we are where we are today.
That's not why we're here today. But we'll disagree.
You just said the Democrats give black women WIC. They give us everything.
I didn't say
but
black women.
You said black.
I use an example as a black woman.
But
That's what I
I'm
said.
saying those are the same thing that they give white women, that they give
I agree.
Latinos, that they
There's
give.
more white
so
women.
you can't say they give us everything when these are the same.
I
you
said us
you
being
want me to
everybody.
Go back on the tape.
No, I said everybody, us. I said us, but I meant everybody. I used the black female as an example. But us is everybody. In fact, if it was me, I'd take away everything. You know why? Because then you would go to the church. Everybody would go to the church, and the taxpayers would have more money, and then they would give it to the church, and they could take care of it more properly because the government does a crappy job. Schools, horrible. Private schools, better.
Yeah.
So much better.
I went to private school, so I understand.
No, but I'm gonna give you examples of the ones that government, private. Okay, UPS is terrible. FedEx far better.
Okay, hey. So just to kind of describe what we're doing and what we're seeing here. We have some Black Lives Matter activists as well as Trump supporters gathering on this street just a couple of blocks from the BOK Center. It's remained very peaceful. I mean, some people are handing out beers. There was, I guess, kind of a civilian militia on the other side of the street just a little while ago. If you were watching the stream, you saw one of them there. We're just kind of monitoring the situation. Again, it's been fairly peaceful on this street at least. Earlier we were seeing a little bit more agitation, but we're kind of keeping an eye on Twitter. We're possibly seeing the police retreating from protesters about 2 streets up from here. So we're going to check that out and try to see what's going on there.
Thank you.
As they process, and it is for them.
Earlier when we were here, it was just something that I picked up. There was a team of about probably 3 Antifa women, and each of them had a huge walkie-talkie and like a wire as with their little speaker here, and just listening, it seems like there definitely is some coordination, asking where people are at. These same groups of 3 women were handing out water bottles to people who I guess were a part of their movement. We've seen some Black Lives Matter activists drive by with their windows down with F Donald Trump song, yelling F Donald Trump. But that's kind of been so far the extent of the action, other than just very regular dialogue with the 2 different sides down this street. We're gonna check out up here and see if there is anything, God bless you, going on. And you never know with self-service, like there's just so many people around here, things being uploaded to Twitter and social media, it can be very delayed. But I thought that maybe we should take a stab at it since this specific video was posted just about 5 to 7 minutes ago. But everything seems really peaceful right now. Like, I'm not hearing anything, I'm not seeing anything too violent or physical at all. It's very quiet, but we're just gonna keep walking here and see what we're seeing.
All right, guys, we're just tuning in. We just saw some videos online that were pretty crazy, and we're just trying to track the streets where they're at. We're just making sure that nothing's still happening at those locations. If not, we'll probably just head right back to where we were beforehand. This is Matt Purdy, Breitbart News, hanging out with Ali J. He's been doing a killer job here. What you got?
I just got directions.
The other way?
Yes.
All right.
You know, Google Maps, when you're on the ground, just isn't that helpful.
Well, I also hear the helicopter a couple blocks away.
Yeah.
Usually when they get the helicopter out, they're spending some money, so something's happening. Or they anticipate something could happen.
Yeah.
Either way, we're going to go check it out for you guys because we want to show you guys the truth that the mainstream media doesn't typically bring you guys.
Okay, so we're going to go down this way.
Okay.
I believe so.
All right, Ali, describe some of the stuff that you've been seeing.
Sure,
that you saw online.
Yeah, that I've seen online. Definitely during the rally, there was a lot of agitation, mostly coming from the Black Lives Matter side. We had reports of Black Lives Matter activists, Antifa, blocking the gates to get in. If you're watching our earlier stream this morning, we kind of showed you the process of getting in and going through the gates. They were blocking those gates, preventing Trump supporters from getting in. And while doing that, there was other reports of them throwing things at the Trump supporters and just hurling insults and really trying to start a lot of agitation. Later on this evening, while we were inside of the building, while Trump was discussing, we saw that there was large groups of protesters we're starting to come down the street and completely block the entire street from people. Very an intimidating sight for any I guess Trump supporter opposition for them to come there. As the night progressed on towards the end of the rally, we got reports of Black Lives Matter and Antifa blocking whole streets where the buses of National Guard, which is here on the ground, they've been kind of around the perimeter of the BOK with them on the ground. The bus that they were on, they were blocking the path for that bus. We're not allowing them at all to do any of that. Okay. Interesting. So we have a ton of National Guard down there.
I don't know where it's happening.
Okay, so that's looking a little bit peaceful, except we definitely have.
Yeah, let's go check this out over here.
National Guard in riot gear standing outside. There's definitely been some questionable characters while we were down there at this first street at the beginning of the stream, just walking around. Seems like there was correspondence between these different groups, as I mentioned before, possibly 3 Antifa women with large cases of bottled water, handing them out to people who support them, as well as large walkie-talkie, heavy-duty devices that they were also keeping in touch with.
All right, so it looks like we got some action here. We got some people in riot gear, potentially. And we're just going to monitor the situation.
Like, why do you need that? Why? I would like to know why you need that. Why do you guys need all of this protection? Do you really think that we're going to do anything? Trump supporters are more violent than you guys, than us. Like, they really are. Jesus. I don't know why they're still standing here.
Power is being abused.
Yeah, power is being abused. That's why I'm sitting right here. I'm a little tiny person sitting right here.
What's happening is the power is being abused.
Oh, I want my beer. I'm going to stay sitting right here, actually.
describe what you're seeing here.
Yes, we just have the National Guard just standing at the ready just in case things would get violent. They are in riot gear, prepared if anything would go awry. The street now is fairly quiet. We saw, this is the place, earlier from another video where police were starting to back away from large amounts of protesters. Those protesters seem to have completely dispersed. We're not seeing too many of them now. Mostly Trump supporters coming back from the rally, walking up and down. We do have one Black Lives Matter girl with a plague mask trying to antagonize the National Guard people here, and so it's very, very interesting piece. The National Guard doesn't seem to mind at all. I'm sure they've seen worse, and they're just keeping guard. Everything is fairly peaceful. We're not seeing anything too crazy yet, but maybe we should go down, just take a peek around. Maybe take a peek around this corner, but it seems that right now it's still very quiet in downtown Tulsa. The buses that was being blocked earlier today, that we saw a video on Twitter where Black Lives Matter activists as well as Antifa were blocking the buses that were filled with these servicemen here. Again, we're not seeing too much. We're seeing a lot of cars drive by, pretty packed with people, some packed with Trump supporters, others packed with probably Black Lives Matter or Antifa, but nothing too agonizing. Everyone's just being on guard, everyone's just relaxing, and hopefully everything will de-escalate. The atmosphere right now, I guess, around this area seems fairly fine. Yeah. That's kind of what we're seeing. I haven't seen anything new on Twitter yet, so I don't have anything to report about different areas of the city, but I definitely think that this presence here with the National Guard is definitely deterring and de-escalating things down way more if we did not have them here, which is good. It's good that we are able to utilize our troops just to keep our cities and both sides safe. So that's kind of what we're seeing. Everything is good. Purdy and I are safe, and it's looking like it's just going to be a fairly peaceful night, though it did start out with lots of agitation, pretty tense situation during the rally. But we're going to keep you posted. I'm going to keep looking around, seeing if we can find anything, and we'll let you just soak in what we're seeing and let you walk through the city with us as well.
Thank you. No, don't look at me. Look at these guys. Thank you. Thank you.
No, I think
these are working men right here. These are working men. Thank them. That's the ones you need to be pointing the damn camera at, not some drunk redneck. Look at them people out there.
Those guys.
Shit, man.
Thank you.
No, he's a hilarious. He's a guy that's you like the boss?
You have this long. Hey, and there's somebody offering you the job, and you're just not making somebody that. Yeah. That's not a gun to your head. Saying you have to go work for this guy, it's a choice. You go, you sign papers, you tell him how much taxes you want taken out. Look, I ain't supporting law.
You've seen those videos where like they give like people advice for the I don't know if I've seen those videos, but I've seen enough of them videos that follow. You know.
Alright guys, looks like we're seeing a lot of the aftermath, a lot of trash around here. Stuff left over. Or something. I think the issue here is that there really isn't a whole lot of trash cans. Some of the trash cans are removed when Secret Service comes through.
Mid-90s. Yeah, it's on. How is it racing?
Okay, so the street is looking a little bit different from when we were first out here starting on Thursday. It seems like everyone has pretty much packed up their tents. People have just abandoned their seats there, but it's very peaceful. The gates are still up. People here are just hanging out. They're packing up. They're having a lot of discussions, but it's still a pretty peaceful and quiet night here out in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm Allie J. Nikolai. This is Purdy. And we were just walking around. Again, earlier during the rally, we were getting reports off of Twitter that we were seeing agitation between Black Lives Matter activists and Antifa and Trump supporters, where Black Lives Matter activists were, harassing, throwing stuff at Trump supporters, blocking the gates behind us at different entrances to try to prevent other Trump supporters to be entering in. By the time Purdy and I got down here after the rally, it seemed fairly peaceful. There were, just kind of a mixture of people with just with just dialogue and nothing too crazy. We're just kind of keeping an eye on everything, but right now it seems fairly peaceful. It seems like it's going to be just a regular night. The National Guard is on the ground here. We were showing you that a little bit earlier in the stream, and it seems that their presence has really de-escalated the situation, the tenseness, and it seems like they will be holding down the fort tonight in Tulsa to avoid any more rioting or any conflicts between Trump supporters and/or Antifa and BLM. And so with that, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into our stream. Know that you can always count on Breitbart for this great original content and keeping you in the loop. Make sure to follow all of our social media. With Instagram, it's @WeAreBreitbart, Twitter, Breitbart News, as well as Facebook, Breitbart News. Thank you guys so much just for your support. If you like the stream, if you like any of our past streams over this weekend, make sure to like and share those. So without further ado, again, I'm Allie J. Nikolai. Behind is wonderful Matthew Purdy. Thank you again, and I hope you guys have a great night. Thanks.